This week on Nerded Here Weekly, we preview the upcoming awards season, discuss the potential designs for Doctor Doom, and visit in with our good friend Mario on his 40th birthday. All that and more on this week's episode of Nerded Here Weekly. Bruno, do the thing.
We're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
This better not awaken anything in me.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
I'm responsible for my own happiness. I can't even be responsible for my own breakfast.
We have Santa Claus. Assemble.
Welcome back to Nerded Here Weekly. I'm Riley Trahan, Senior Entertainment Editor at Nerded Here First. And as always, I'm joined by my co-hosts, Deepak Chitnis.
I removed my cap. We'll discuss why in a bit.
Yeah, Bruno MSS.
Curious about the cat.
Well, I'll say our very own Sundance Kid, Jackson Trahan.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, Deepak, should we start there?
Yeah, so we're recording this on the day that we unfortunately found out that screen legend, icon, whatever you want to call him, Robert Redford has passed away at the age of 89. Obviously, we all know him from many, many different movies. I figured I would just run through some of the ones I could pull off the shelf because these are probably the ones that were the most impactful to a lot of us. Start with The Way We Were, big one with Streisand. He plays an absolutely reprehensible piece of crap in this movie, which is very off-brand for him. As previously referenced already, Butch Cassidy, The Sundance Kid, maybe the greatest Western ever made next to Unforgiven.
And a great mustache.
We get
a podcast celebrating in its mustache celebration season, a man who could really rock a stash. Not to interrupt.
Yeah, and I've unfortunately backed out of mustache season because of the fact that I want to remain married. There's a twofer here. 3 Days of the Condor. One of the movies he made with Sidney Pollack. They worked together several times, including Out of Africa, which won Best Picture in 1985. Of course, All the President's Men. One of the 5 or 10 best movies ever made. There can be no argument. The Sting won Best Picture in 1973. It rules.
Did a rewatch that one today.
I saw that you liked my review on Letterboxd for that, and I was like, I wonder what Bruno was up to right now. And then, of course, the last movie he ever did, it turns out, was Avengers Endgame, but we will, of course, remember him more for Captain America, The Winter Soldier. So, rest in peace, Robert Redford. You've had an incredible career. You've had an incredible impact as a director. Movies like Quiz Show, which are incredible. He won the Oscar for Ordinary People in 1980 over Raging Bull, very famously. And that stack I have is but a 0.001% testament to the legacy he leaves behind.
Yeah, I mean, every baseball season we want to talk baseball movies. Of course, there's The Natural, right?
Oh, yeah.
Anybody who wants to talk any kind of, we get so excited about these movies like Sinners, right? These movies that might have general crossover appeal between award season folks and box office folks. Well, you can't talk about movies like that without talking about The Sting, right? Like like to talk about sort of postmodern westerns reappropriating the genre. Well, you really can't have that conversation without Butch Cassidy and The Sundance Kid, right? Like all this stuff that we like to talk about in our space is all touched by like the Redford career, and it's sad that he passed. But we like to talk about award season. The Sundance Film Festival is a thing that probably bears mentioning, that he, bought up this sort of small failing award festival in Utah, renamed it the Sundance Film Festival, and sort of shepherded it to what it is now, and is still like grumpy that like influencers and vendors show up to it. So yeah, I mean, he was a really cool guy up until the end, the sort of guy you'd want him to be, an activist for the environment and all that. And he lived to ripe old age, but he could have lived 100 more years, it seemed, with the amount of energy he had anytime you saw him on screen. What are you gonna do?
Yep. Father Time is undefeated. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, do we want to do a little? We were talking award season goss earlier in sort of, while we're on prestige movies. This had been kicked off because we were looking at the Toronto Film Festival, right? And we were seeing what had been doing well there. Here, I'll pull up Gold Derby. You guys can kind of do some table setting.
Yeah, I actually took a crack at kind of putting together my first little look ahead at what I think the Oscar nominees could look like. Now it's obviously super duper early because we're not going to know nominees for about 4 months, but
It's insanely
based
early.
off of insanely early, but that's what's part of the fun.
Yeah.
Uh, now that Toronto's done, I know Riley, you're pulling it up, but it looks like Hamnet uh, was kind of the big surprise, not necessarily surprise, but the big winner at
Mhm.
TIFF.
Mhm.
It won the audience award, which is kind of the has become in the last 20 years or so a reliable indicator of, if not a best picture winner, at least a best picture nominee. Previous winners of the audience award include things like Little Miss Sunshine, Slumdog Millionaire, 12 Years a Slave,
Hmm.
Nomadland. You'll also recognize that Nomadland was also directed by Chloe Zhao, so she becomes at the very least the first female director. I need to confirm
This
if
was
she may be the
exciting.
first ever director to ever win the audience award twice.
Yeah.
No one else has ever done
Very
that.
exciting.
So that's really cool. Uh, the
And this
other
time
thing
maybe
that this
for a movie that
does,
I'll like, which would be even more exciting. Like,
Mhm.
I'd love to be in on the hype this time. I'm not denying the greatness of Nomadland. I'm just saying it wasn't my taste. It seems like with Hamnet, I mean, Shakespeare-y tragedy, that's much more my
mm,
rhythm.
Indeed.
yeah, and it's looking like Jessie Buckley also might
Yeah.
be the front runner
Yeah.
for Best Actress.
Okay,
So let's see what happens there.
so on the newly redesigned goldderby.com, I have
Which I'm not a fan of.
we could spend a lot of time talking about it.
Just
Um,
not into it.
I have a 10. I have a Jack, this is gonna get you excited. I've got a percentile 10 that I'm willing to give everybody for uh as Deepak said, the astonishingly early snapshot of where people say we are today. So
Mhm.
surging post TIFF, we now have at 14.2% Hamnet, the Chloe Zhao film. Then the
Mhm.
next one up at 13.15%, we have Sinners.
Yep.
Sure.
After that, at 11.3,
Notably, a movie that's been released.
right, notably a movie everyone has seen and agreed that was good. After that, we've got One Battle After Another and Sentimental Value basically tied at 11% with some change, respectively.
Mhm.
Continuing on in the movies no one has seen category, we have Wicked for Good at about 8%,
Mhm.
Marty Supreme just over 6.5%, Begonia, the Emma Stone,
People have seen that.
yeah, it's not Luca,
No, it's
Yorgos.
Yorgos. Yeah, it's Yorgos, and it's what's Kirsten Dunst's husband's name? Jesse Plemons.
Yes, right,
Yeah.
the alien thing. It's a remake, right, of a Korean film.
No, it's an adaptation of a novel.
Oh, um, look how little I know about it. It was
But speaking of Korean film, there is a new Park Chan-wook coming. No Other Choice.
Oh, well, that would be fun to see that. And your top 10 round out here down at the 4% with the Springsteen movie, and It Was Just an Accident, which apparently is the greatest thing anyone's ever seen at Cannes.
Won the Palm.
So, I mean, that'd be a fun 10. If that was the Oscar 10, that would be an out of this world 10. There's no way that's the 10.
So
Jay Kelly
the
also
10,
bumping around in there, um,
the 10
etc.
that I have currently are Avatar 3, Begonia, It Was Just an Accident, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Values, Sinners, Wake Up Dead Man, and Wicked for Good.
Wake Up Dead Man would be interesting.
I agree.
Have those really been like awards darlings?
Knives Out was nominated.
Knives Out was I don't know.
Let me
That was a weird
actually.
period.
I said that very.
That was a
confidently.
weird period.
That was a weird period.
I like the definitive top 3 directors on Gold Derby right now because they are 90% Chloe Zhao, 87% Ryan
Oh, it
Coogler,
wasn't nominated. Sorry.
85% Joachim Trier.
It got screenplay at least, didn't it?
Hmm?
Did it get screenplay or
Yeah, original screenplay
Yeah,
was.
it got
Okay,
nominated
that's
for something.
Yeah.
But Deepak, I hadn't heard anything about this this movie from what's his name? Mr. Worst Person in the World himself.
Yeah.
Um,
Joachim Trier.
yeah,
Yeah, it's been kind of bubbling in the background for a few months now as one of the major contenders, at least for like the acting awards. The 2 supporting awards, especially supporting actor, Stellan Skarsgård seems to be the front runner. Of course, at this point, it's so early. Being a
Right.
front runner is almost like a bad thing to be because there's going to be a Kieran Culkin or someone that shows up at the 11th hour and takes the world by storm.
Yeah,
So we're
and
still
Adam
waiting to
Sandler, I
see
think, is
who
the
that
hope.
is. Yeah, we'll see.
Sandler and Jay Kelly, all the critics that I have heard on podcasts and stuff talk about it have said he would be this would be his chance. And actually, what I did hear one awards critic speculate on that I thought was very fun was the idea that Sandler's Oscar chances are improved with the release of Happy Gilmore 2 also this year, because Happy Gilmore 2 is just sort of one of those everybody shows up, everybody has a good time, everybody gets paid movies. And
Fair.
everybody
Yeah,
just
Yeah, it's a cameo movie.
right, and everybody's just looking at Adam Sandler with a bunch of goodwill, and so the idea is then you're going into your Oscar ballot and you go, hey, you know who deserves an Oscar is Adam Sandler. Let's give him an Oscar. And honestly, if that's how it plays out, I'd be very happy. I would love to see the Sandman up on the stage thanking Chalamet.
That is what I'm hoping for. I want another Chalamet.
Yeah. Can't
You
believe
want him to get an award for being good at ping pong?
Yes. Yes,
Well,
I want
that
him to
too.
get that
Could
so
you
badly.
imagine Chalamet and Sandler winning in the same night?
Can we talk about the Marty Supreme just trailer? Have you guys watched it?
I have.
You, Deepak, you have not. He just
No.
is
not.
he is just dripping with charisma. Like, I know he always is, like that's obviously the Chalamet thing, is basically regardless of who he plays, he's cool as shit. But he is just, it is, I mean, you know, he's playing a professional tennis table player, but it is coming out of his pores how cool he is the whole time. And basically the trailer just ends with one of the actors in the movie just basically screaming about how cool Marty Supreme is. And I'm like, yeah, I'm on board. I'm very excited for that movie. You know what I'm not very excited for? Well, I suppose I should step back. Anybody else want to talk about Marty Supreme?
No, it looks like the Smashing Machine on the
I
other
suppose
side of
that's
the Safdie coin.
we should go to Smashing
Yeah.
Machine. Yes.
Yeah, may not have wowed people at TIFF the way it was initially
Hot out
expected
the
to as
gate.
an A24 product.
Hot
Yeah.
out the gate, but yeah, suddenly seems to be cooling.
Mhm.
Bruno and I were in the DMs discussing what could and couldn't specifically get a 12-minute standing ovation at Cannes.
Right.
we're sort of talking about, because that, you know, everyone's saying, oh, 15-minute standing ovation for the Smashing Machine must be good. I was like, sounds like a 75% on Rotten Tomatoes ultimately.
Yeah,
Smashing Machine
a respectful
still,
75.
Yeah.
I think Smashing Machine might still have the chance of being like this year's The Whale, where it just gets the actor nomination, but it wouldn't even be winning. It would just be the nomination, and that's it.
I think this is The Rock's uncut gems where people will push for the nomination, but he won't get it. They want to see him do it again before they let him in.
Fair.
And maybe Emily Blunt gets a nomination, and maybe the movie gets nominated for technical aspects and cinematography looks interesting. Maybe it's original script. I don't know if it's original or adapted, actually, but I don't see Dwayne Johnson getting nominated, regardless of how good he ends up ultimately being.
He is one of those guys who I think benefits from the fact that we only use the phrase difficult to work with to describe women. Because otherwise I think more people would say that Dwayne Johnson is difficult to work with. That's just my speculation from all the way out here on the East Coast, based on the fact that every time I turn around, I feel like I'm reading something in a newspaper about how he won't be
how difficult he is to work with.
But how he won't be in the same scenes as his co-stars or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, he certainly is a guy that seems like he would benefit from kind of the machinery goodwill thing, right? Of like, certainly he seems to have gotten people paid over the years, if nothing else. So I guess that how difficult is he to work with thing might come into the politics of it. Let's just do it real quick, though. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson starts in The Mummy Returns. He's the Scorpion King. Yeah. Then he does the Scorpion.
Yeah.
Then he does the Scorpion King. Deepak, we remember this era fondly. This is when he's still wrestling, really, right? He kind of goes up to do this.
This is the side gig. Yeah.
I think really the rundown is Career Reinvention 1, where he goes from wrestler to actor. And Rundown, I'd say, good movie. Like,
haven't seen it, but I've heard it's good.
Good movie. He's good in it. That's what I would say about the Rundown.
Yeah.
It is also the last time he's skinny on. It's a Peter Berg movie. He's the last time he's skinny on film. I think he gives up on that after that because I don't think that's what he's looking for. And I think pretty
skinny by his standards. He's not.
yeah.
Skinny.
Well, right.
Yeah.
But he is trimmed down for The Rock because then he goes into Walk Tall.
Right.
We're still Be Cool is a little while after that. The Doom movie that was sort of poorly conceived of. Gridiron Gang. He's then sort of starting to slip into like The Rock that we see on TV a lot, right? He's doing guest spots on Reno 911. He's doing guest spots on Hannah Montana. This is when the Game Plan came out. Game Plan, kind of the first of his Rock is maybe Family Star, right? This is when we got a series of Rock and Kid movies, right? He did the Game Plan. He did the Race to Witch Mountain. He did the Tooth Fairy, right? It's all Rock and Kid. That's sort of the next career reinvention phase that he goes through for a little while.
Kid Rock.
I'd say that reinvention phase ends. Kid Rock. That reinvention phase, I think, sort of ends in 2011 when he goes into Fast Five, right? Then we're sort of Dwayne is action hero.
That's the franchise era.
Dwayne. That's
went
exactly
till
right.
Black Adam.
Right.
Yeah.
Franchise because we're doing Fast. We're doing Journey 2. We're doing G.I. Joe Retaliation.
He tries to launch Hercules at that time. Yeah.
Even movies that aren't IP that just feel and sound like IP. San Andreas, Central Intelligence. Movies you would swear were in the middle of a
Jumanji.
And this is, of course, Deepak, we should mention, if we want to talk prestige Dwayne, if we want to talk Dwayne that is worthy of awards consideration, we should, if you want to say he's going to have to do it twice, we should mention Pain and Gain. Arguably his best on-screen performance. Jack, Bruno, have you guys seen Pain and Gain?
I actually have, yeah, and I really enjoyed it.
It's incredible.
Pain and Gain is a movie by, I'll just say it, my favorite living director, Michael Bay.
It might be from like a purely just like the craft of filmmaking perspective. It might be his best movie.
Yeah. Honestly, it's only like conventionally good movie. Yeah.
Sure.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Weird poll, but I had that film score by Steve Jablonsky on my phone for a good fucking while.
No, Deepak, you're right. That's a bad way of saying it. I think Pain and Gain is sort of what you could present in polite company as Michael Bay's.
It's the Michael Bay movie for people who don't like Michael.
Yeah,
Bay
it's his
movies.
it's his art film.
Okay.
But it's about these bank robbers that are also bodybuilders who do a huge amount of steroids, and it stars Mark Wahlberg and The Rock.
and Ed Harris and Tony Shalhoub.
Oh, Shalhoub rules in it.
And Rebel Wilson, and it's unbelievable. It's so good.
So good. But yeah, the log line is a trio of bodybuilders in Florida get caught up in an extortion ring and a kidnapping scheme that goes terribly wrong.
Why are there so many of these movies?
So good.
It's actually a famous case from the 80s, the Sun Gym Gang.
Yeah. And so then sort of that phase kind of peters out right around like the Baywatch time, right? We do Baywatch, we do Hobbs and Shaw. He's on Ballers. How long did Ballers go?
4, 5,
47 episodes of Ballers he did.
He was in every single one of them, or he's just an executive producer?
Okay. Is he an EP? I don't know. I have him as actor 47 episodes.
I think he was
crazy.
Yeah.
I think he was the lead of Ballers. Of Elizabeth Warren's favorite show, Ballers, apparently.
I never watched it.
No, never seen a minute of it. Then, and as you were alluding to, Deepak, after he did Jungle Cruise, and this was sort of how we knew it was going to be bad, right? Because he'd already entered the final, this current era of the post, the late stage Rock, the Jungle Cruise, the Free Guy, the Red Notice, the Red One. And that's when he changed the balance of power in the DC universe with Black Adam.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been, I think, probably the worst phase of his career. Right? Like we just sort of outlined all those. I think I would take any of the other ones compared to the one we're in now. So
absolutely.
I think the franchise phase was okay up till like maybe COVID, and then something happened.
Yeah, right. Yes, the post-COVID, like late Rock, post post IP stuff has just been
Mhm.
terrible.
Right.
Very grasping at straws, desperate for
It's very
relevance.
the Dwayne that has a tequila company, right? It's not like
It's very corporate Dwayne. Yeah.
and if we're on this level of a rock tangent, Bruno, maybe you can also speak to a little bit because I think it's relevant to what this new career, like what this is supposed to launch him into, what Smashing Machine is
Yeah,
supposed
no.
to. I think Smashing Machine is deliberately in parallel with his coming back to the wrestling. Right, he's very much
Well,
been like in the WWE averse this season.
yeah, it's not that he's been actively back to wrestling. It's that now he is like I'm pretty sure he is a high-ranking member of the board of directors for TKO Investments, which currently owns like the whole is like overseeing the whole merger that WWE went recently with Endeavor, who are the people that own UFC. So he's been overseeing all of that and been like basically just pulling a lot of the strings, like just behind the scenes over in WWE.
Got it. But he's also been like on stage, right? I mean, he's been
He was
sort of
on stage.
looming in the narrative along with being part of the corporate side of it.
Yeah, he usually comes back around WrestleMania season, which is around just like between January and April every year, just to like help with the build up to that event. But then that's it, and then after that he just like poof and gone. Like we don't hear about him again until like next January when he's like back endorsing like some other wrestler.
I saw these videos a couple weeks ago. It was the night that old what's his face? We know him, we love him. He follows this podcast on Twitter, John Cena. It
Oh
was
yeah,
old
Mm.
John, and you know what? We haven't talked enough about how our follower John Cena has been going through such a hard time
Friend
in
of the show.
wrestling. But when he came out, the other week he came out of the other side of this heel business he's been going through, Bruno. I'm sure.
hmm
And so I'd seen some behind the scenes videos of like The Rock and Triple H just walking around, like talking strategy about like standing here or it's just been interesting to see him in the same arena as wrestling when he has this movie about the toll that fighting can take on a body coming out soon. Like it's those two things happening at
right.
the same time don't seem like they're coincidental, I guess.
No, I agree 100%.
Okay, Dwayne tangent over. Just wanted to talk a little Dwayne. Speaking of guys who are going to change the bet. Well, no, sorry. We looked ahead to awards that we know nothing about. We should take a minute to look back at awards we know everything about. What did y'all think about the Emmys?
Good for Seth Rogen. It's funny to think back at 40-Year-Old Virgin and see him where he is now and
hmm
having worked with Spielberg, and he kind of had a Sean Baker night at the Emmys. So happy for
Yeah,
him. Good for him. I still need to finish the show, but I did really like what I'd seen.
ran away with it. Severance got some recognition, which was great.
Hmm.
No complaints, really.
Yeah,
From Mel Tillman. I know you guys are a big fan.
Tremel
Indeed.
Tillman as well as Britt Lauer winning for Best Actress. I can't
Uh,
remember if that was leading or supporting. I believe that's leading.
Good Philadelphia Eagles representation on the stage, Deepak.
Go Birds.
It was really funny, just like in reference to Severance, she was reading her speech off of a little piece of paper, and if you zoomed in, you
Yeah,
could see
yeah.
that the back of the piece of paper had the scribble saying "Let me out."
Let me out. Yeah, that was
Mm.
very good. Did we really have any big upsets? Of course, Studio big winner of the night. I think kind of expected.
Mhm.
How great to see, as you said, Deepak. How great to see Seth Rogen once in the background of Freaks and Geeks. Now walking out of there with his arms just filled to the brim with Emmys. Can't carry all his Emmys. He has so many Emmys. Has to
Mhm.
It was a
awkwardly
funny
put
image.
his Emmys down. Yeah, I thought that was great. I thought it was. I thought the Colbert win was well celebrated. Of course, it did feel
Agreed.
like if some of the people who were cheering him had maybe supported the show, it wouldn't have been such an emotional moment. But what are you going to do? Hollywood loves a narrative. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, that was nice. I guess here's the upset I've seen. That Britt Lauer winning for Severance was an upset over Kathy Bates, who was, of course, the Matlock in the
Matlock.
Matlock revival.
That's fair.
Ah.
Yeah.
I was a little bit surprised that White Lotus got kind of blanked, I think, when it comes
That
to
is
above the line
true.
stuff.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Did it?
not many people won for White Lotus. I don't think there were any wins to White Lotus actually.
It did win for score, and there is some controversy about the composer and Mike White not getting along, and he used his acceptance speech to kind of dunk subtly on Mike White and HBO. So there's some bad blood there, but
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm
whatever.
upset that a score of just heavy breathing over and over again won. But
Of course,
that's
of course, based on our purview, this is what we should be talking about. Kristen Milioti won for The Penguin.
Of course, yeah.
But
We love to
Farrell,
see that.
Farrell, nothing.
Yep.
Blank.
The
Hate to
only
see that.
win for the Penguin was a Miliality, which was interesting.
We
But I
just-
guess
Oh, who? The father
Stephen
from
Graham.
Adolescence is the one. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
And then, of course, the kid won for supporting actor,
Right.
making him the youngest.
And then
What is it?
Adolescence itself
Yeah.
won for limited series.
I gotta watch that finally.
now Stephen
I'm kind of scared too.
Stephen Graham is a great. He's in Tinker Tailor. He's in Pirates.
Tinker Tailor, Irishman, Snatch.
2 Pirates of the
my
Caribbean
guy's in it.
movies.
He was in the
Mhm.
Venom movies.
Yep.
Yes.
So I mean, he's fantastic. But we've been talking since probably for over a year now.
Boardwalk
I feel like
Empire.
we've been
I think
talking
he's
about
Al
Colin
Capone.
Farrell
Yeah.
on all that makeup and how he should be given an Emmy. So
Absolutely.
but whatever.
We'll give him the
Whatever.
respect he deserves in the Batman Part 3.
There was
He's
one
Coming
show,
in
Man of
2041.
Tomorrow.
There was one show that like the Penguins sort of like sweep the awards, but I don't remember which one that was.
Golden
The
Globes.
Globes.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll move. Okay, let's go on to our Nintendo stuff, and then we can
Wait,
get.
real quick.
Yeah.
You think K-pop Demon Hunters gets an Oscar?
Do we think K-pop Demon Hunter gets an Oscar? What with all this AI business going on?
Well,
It
that's just
depends
a
on how
single
much
song.
traction
That's fine.
it really gets.
Jack,
Yeah.
did you read the? You always understand more about the AI of it all than we do. Did you look into the allegations?
I mean, I glanced at it. It didn't seem. It seemed like a bit of a mountain out of a molehill, but yeah, it seemed like he went on to some panel for OpenAI's new Korean offices that was opening up, and talked about how he used it to I think the translation was to make the lyrics more bubbly. So I'm not a professional lyric bubbleizer. I don't work in the K-pop space. I'm sure that is a real job that is getting automated away.
It has been years since anyone has come to Jack and said, "Hey, can you check the effervescence of these lyrics?"
I'm getting sick of it. Yeah, no. But,
I think K-pop has like a decent chance of the Oscar for animated feature. I'm not so sure about original song, just because I know there's going to be a submission there from Sinners, and that's probably going to be getting a lot of good graces.
Oh, I would have said that the song was the
Was the
much
lock?
safer lock, but until this AI thing came.
well,
But they
they
said
do
the
have other
AI thing
songs
was
that are also
happening.
doing pretty well.
The AI thing was happening with the song that they're not submitting, though, right?
Yes, but I think the concern is is this one the only one that they gave a little extra artificial effervescence
see.
to?
Put in the Soda
Or did
Stream.
they maybe soda stream a couple of these bad boys?
Soda Stream.
That's how we're gonna refer to it from now on. That's now our shorthand. They took a couple of these guys and said, "Hey, just yep, good." Now, listen, they should change the rules, and I know that we talk about this every year, but they should change the rules to make things like a Minecraft movie technically eligible for Best Animated Film, because I would like to see studio executives kind of have to make the choice of it's not going to win picture. They don't want to admit that it's an animated movie, but they're like, I don't know, it could go the distance, couldn't it? And it's not going to go for picture. Yeah,
Hey,
I don't
real
know.
quick.
I was just going to say that Zootopia is coming out, and that kind of feels like it's got to be a animated lock.
That's going to be up there. And there's another thing with awards, which is that we have a new category this year at the Oscars for Best Casting. So that's another wild card to think about, with Sinners probably getting thrown in the mix there. But how do you define best casting? Is it the one with like the most famous names, in which case it might be Jay Kelly? Is
Mm.
it the one where the actors really are the best suited for their roles?
Mm-hmm.
In which case, obviously, it's Pedro Pascal in Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Is it is it the one for which the casting agent had to fly to Pandora to meet with all of the Fire and
Fire
Ash
and Ash
people?
people.
Yeah, to cast all those aliens
People
in their
talk
new
about the
movie.
fire people all the time. What do you
But
think?
The
what
fire
about the
people.
Ash
What
people?
do you think the Ash like, or are they the Fire and Ash people? So many questions to be revealed. I love that it's coming so
Glad they
soon.
keep making this movie for you.
Yeah, me.
Mm,
The best part about Fire and Ash, Jack, is that for years I had to hear about how Shape of Water, or what the fuck ever was, the Way of Water wasn't
the
coming out.
way of water.
For
The shape.
years, for years, I heard about how Way of Water wasn't going to come out. Now, we're getting them done quick now. I heard 4 and 5 are in the can the other day. Excited to hear it. I'm not even worried that he's not finishing them anymore. I think he's going to edit them while he makes a scary movie about an atomic bomb for all of us. He's going to do 2 things.
Sure, yeah.
Jack, tell us about the Nintendo Direct, please.
Oh, okay, yeah. So on Friday we got a Nintendo Direct that was in honor / celebration, or at least part of it. It was sort of 2 directs smashed into one, which is part of why it was so long. It was over an hour. And the first part focused on Mario's 40th anniversary, and then the second part was sort of other miscellaneous announcements. So I have a few highlights here for us to go over. I was sending them into the Discord as they were coming in live. Got some reactions from you guys already. The big headline that they started with, because they were talking about Mario's anniversary, what they call the main event of Mario's 40th anniversary, will be the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Just an
coming
insane
out
decision.
next year. It was pretty surprising. I think you and I and a lot of people were expecting the Super Mario World movie, especially after the Yoshi tease, the end of the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like a sort of natural trilogy progression.
Mm-hmm.
Mario World being the game that Yoshi was introduced in. Of course,
and
they're not under Galaxy, any sort of...
and then you have Galaxy be the trilogy capper, you would think.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That feels like a natural sort of escalation of scope.
Right.
But it is also not like there's a strong need to like adhere to the plot, you know. Like I don't think we're missing out on anything in particular. Skipping over Worlds.
I agree with that. Yeah, Yoshi's still allowed to show up in Galaxy or whatever for sure.
Right. I think they just want to get Rosalina in here.
Jackson, I'm sorry. Can I break your heart? Can I tell you what I think they're gonna do?
What's that?
I think it's Mario Multiverse.
No!
I think we're taking this bad boy to the multiverse, where all movies must go these days. I think that's why we skip straight from Overworld to Galaxy, because world implies singular. I think this lets us have a little.
You mean this is going to cross promote with the live action Zelda movie?
That would be interesting.
No,
I was imagining Paper Mario and 3D Mario and Sideways Mario.
That would be even more interesting.
All having to team up to take down.
Paper Mario is apparently barely profitable enough to make video games with. I don't know if we can afford to make a movie.
When do we get the Smash Brothers movie?
You don't want.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why it would be Link.
But you don't think that starts with an Into the Spider-Verse of Mario's? You don't like my...
Listen, I've learned not to trust my instincts about these movies.
Fair enough.
Relatedly, most of the cast is returning, including Christopher Pratt-Tifer.
Did they mention anything about if the animation... I would like to go through the cast. Did they mention anything about if the animation is staying at Illumination?
Yes, it is still Illumination.
Okay. I assumed, but I just wanted to make sure they confirmed. There's been some weird scuttlebutt in the Illumination world lately.
They're in the logo.
Great. Perfect. Love that contract.
What is the scuttlebutt? Risk of tangent.
I don't know enough about it off the top of my head. I think that there was some... I had heard maybe that Universal wasn't distributing their movies anymore, but...
No.
I can't like I'm on their Wikipedia page and that doesn't seem to be true. So I don't know what I was.
They're not. I think they're not distributing them on home video right now. They're using Warner Brothers. Maybe what you
Oh,
saw.
maybe that was it. Okay,
Mhm.
so Jack, so the whole voice cast back, only some.
They did not mention everyone, but they did go through a pretty comprehensive list. Mario, Peach, Luigi, Bowser, Toad, and Kamek they mentioned. I could put effort into remembering who voiced all those people. Anya
After that,
Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, Jack Black.
The heavily Emmy encumbered Seth Rogen.
well, that was Donkey Kong, and he's not mentioned.
Yeah, Seth Rogen has not been mentioned yet. Donkey Kong has not.
I know Keegan Michael Key is Toad. I forget who's Kamek.
Indeed, and I also don't remember Kamek, but all of them are coming back, so good for them. The maybe surprising thing is the lack of other Mario announcements, I think. Not that a feature film isn't a big deal, but besides this, we got a Mario tennis game, which I know is a big deal for Riley.
I like their little uniforms.
Yeah, he likes when they put on little sports
It's
outfits.
funny to see Luigi in a visor.
Yes, it absolutely is. That's true.
He can
and then
shoot
we also
fireballs
got
out of his fists, but he doesn't want to get the sun in his eyes when he has to bat.
And we also got an announcement for a new Yoshi game that seems like a spiritual successor to Yoshi's Story.
Okay.
I did see that.
And,
I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, it looked good.
Is that
I do like Yoshi.
Is that Rosalina Trilogy 3? Or pardon me,
no.
I do this every time. Of course, not Rosalina. Donkey Kong Girl.
Oh, Pauline.
Pauline Trilogy 3.
No, not featuring baby Pauline in a further prequelization. At least not yet. That would be amazing. I hope they do that.
To read Deepak and Bruno in here. So, guys, Pauline is this character that I think has been longstanding in Nintendo lore, right, Jackson? But has sort of recently...
Yeah, in the Donkey Kong arcade game, she was the girl that Donkey Kong kidnapped, although at the time she was credited as Lady.
So then she showed up in Mario Odyssey. Deepak, you may remember her as the singing lady in Mario Odyssey in the red dress.
Yes, the mayor of the town.
Yeah, the mayor.
Yeah. So then a sort of like young teen version of that same character showed up in this most recent Donkey Kong game, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and you sort of like traveled with her and went on this big adventure where she was your main accomplice, and you kind of shared.
It was like they're like doing a retcon of this lore where Donkey Kong used to kidnap her, but now it's like they're childhood friends.
Yeah. So Jack and I really want now a further prequelization of this story. And the obvious move for us seems to be a Yoshi game with a baby version of this character, because, of course, Yoshi used to carry around baby Mario.
He always has those nasty babies.
And now we got this Yoshi game announcement. So I was asking Jack, is this going to be the game?
No, I'm still here for that theory. That would be incredible, but we haven't gotten any info on any babies appearing in this game yet.
Got it. Okay.
We did also get an announcement for a remake of Galaxy 1 and 2 being released on Switch.
Yeah.
Which got a little bit of saucy backlash.
They will cost $250.
It will cost $70 for the pair, or each individual one will cost $40, which is a little steep for a game that came out when Mario was half as old as he is now.
20-year-old game. They're selling it for 40 dinero.
But, what are you going to do?
Yep.
Aside from those, we also got an announcement of DLC for Donkey Kong Bonanza to get more cute outfits for preteen Pauline.
Speaking of paying too much for not enough.
Well, I've heard mixed things about that, actually. Some people do say it's a pretty small DLC, and other people say it's pretty expensive. I have not yet checked it out. I actually don't even know how much it costs. I'm assuming it's $20.
It is $20. It gives you the DK Island, it also, which is a whole new area to explore. As you said, it gives you the cosmetics. It also gives you sort of a new game mode where instead of smashing up the island, you smash up the green emeralds, and you can kind of get new combos and unlock new moves and stuff in all the different worlds in this new game.
This is all very similar to Mario Odyssey, which also got a new cosmetics and a new game mode in post-game content, although I don't think you had to pay for that. and Peach's Castle came with the game for free, which is sort of a nostalgic bonus area at the end of the game.
Mm.
So I can see where some people are maybe a little irked about that, but just you wait if you want to talk about overpriced stuff, because after this, Nintendo made the funniest announcement I've ever seen them make in my entire life.
Really, the coup de grace of Nintendo cash grabs.
It's definitely my favorite part of this whole thing.
Yep.
So, in the wake of having just added the Nintendo GameCube to their online service, they make an announcement that they have some big announcement for the online, and then they reveal that they're bringing the Virtual Boy back, baby.
You know the Nintendo thing nobody wanted?
So, for anyone unaware, the Virtual Boy is by far Nintendo's worst selling product, like ever.
If this thing gets literally
console.
any critical reception, it is going to be the crown jewel of that thing we were talking about a couple weeks ago when we were doing this is in the future for hey audience, in a couple weeks we're going to be doing hey, thanks so much for being with us. Sometimes I forget that we have other people here. Hey, thanks for watching the show. Make sure you subscribe, because in a couple weeks we're doing an episode where we all watched bad movies that we thought were good. So we sort of assigned each other to watch movies we hadn't seen before that were bad, that the rest of us consensus agreed were good. In that episode, we have sort of this momentary side conversation about how it's sort of unfair that modern critics get to go back at stuff that everybody agreed was trash at the time and be like, hey, isn't this thing good now? And it sort of like kinks up the whole system. If there is literally any positive reception to the Nintendo Online Virtual Boy, it will be the biggest version of this ever. And what are they going to be excited about playing? Space Squash? Anyway, Jeff.
Yeah, so the original Virtual Boy sold 770,000 units. The second worst selling Nintendo console, the Wii U, sold 13.6 million units. It is often cited as causing headaches, dizziness, eye strain, and it can only display in one color, which is red. It does display in stereoscopic 3D. This is the big selling point, by displaying different images to both of your eyes. But in order to do this, it has to sit up on a desk, and you have to sort of lean into it in a terribly uncomfortable sort of a way. It was very expensive when it launched. It was $180 at launch, which is the equivalent of $370 today. And it had very few games, with about like less than 20 total, I think.
I will say $370 would be a steal for one of our current generation shitty virtual reality gaming consoles.
That's an interesting point. And you can get an even better deal on the plastic shell that looks like a Virtual Boy that you have to slot your Nintendo Switch into in order to get the thing to work the way that it's supposed to.
This is the best part of it. So you cannot, so you have to subscribe to the Nintendo Online service, right? So
Right.
if you
You even have access to any release.
and do you need like the bonus thing? Like I feel like there's a add-on that you already have to pay for to get like the GameCube or the N64.
Yes, yeah, that is the more expensive tier subscription.
Okay, so
already.
of the two things you have to pay in order to get these games, you have to pay the higher tier service, right? On top of that, you cannot just play these games on your TV with your Switch like you can a Nintendo 64 game.
I'm not sure we 100%. It will be insane if they don't have an option to just play it in regular 2D mode on the screen. If it will only display the two images side by side and you have to slot it into the fake Virtual Boy and then stare into it and give yourself a headache.
So I believe you are going to have to pay them $100 or if you want a shitty cardboard version of it, $25.
You can pay $25 for cardboard.
Nintendo will sell you either one. They're not giving you a free one like Google did with the cardboard for the schools back in the day or whatever. No, you pay 100 American dollars plus whatever the tariffs end up being, and Nintendo will ship you a piece of plastic that you slot your Switch into and then strap to your head to look at 3D red outlines that give you a headache. Anyway, Don't forget to
Now
tune in.
listen.
Don't forget to tune in next year for
Listen.
my live stream of Waterworld on the
Two
the
things.
Virtual
Yes, there
Boy
is a Waterworld game. I think that's actually one of the ones that isn't going to make it because of the licensing.
because of the
issues.
licensing stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But there is apparently one good Virtual Boy game. It's the Wario World game. And the other thing is, all of these games are a nightmare for game preservation. Like, you think this is expensive. Getting a real Virtual Boy and real Virtual Boy games is prohibitively expensive.
Yeah.
So, as someone who does care about this weird moment in Nintendo's history, I am weirdly delighted that they are not shying away from it. But holy shit, I can't believe that this is how they're going about it.
Before we totally cut off conversation around weird Nintendo product stuff, can I just mention, I want to see if it'll happen again. Hold on. I need to get a new window going here so I can switch out of my NIHF.com work address and into just my normal Google address.
Okay.
Okay, if I go into Amazon, will it do it again? When I was on Amazon the other day, it started serving me up. Like, it wasn't just that I could buy them. Maybe that would be fine. But the fact that it was, like, actively advertising me a Zelda, like, Game & Watch? Are the Game & Watches coming
sure.
back? Are we doing that again? It was weirdly expensive again. Yeah, here. Nintendo Game & Watch The Legend of Zelda system, $43.99. Yeah, we're going back to the old school handhelds.
Riley, Bruno has one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not even looking at the screen, Bruno. How do you like it? Is it good?
Oh yeah, no, it's great.
Wild. Just
nice to just play it on the go, you know.
I believe it. This is what next time I have to get on a long plane, I'm just going to order one of those. That's going to be my whole trip.
This is the Mario Bros one, but I still plan to get like the Zelda one at one point.
Cool. Well, great. I'm glad to know we have somebody on that beat already. All right, we have sort of, before we sign off out of here, we have two kind of big stories to get to. One of them will be our kind of big entree news, and the other one will be a little bit of nerdy dessert. Let's start with the news. In our continued journey towards a world where there are only 5 companies left at the end of the world, and they're all competing to see which one can get their hands on the Xenomorph. It seems as if Warner Brothers is going to buy Paramount.
They sure want to.
Let's talk
Other way
about
around. Paramount is going to buy Warner Brothers.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
Paramount's got. I mean, a sign of how insane it is that I can't even keep it straight in my head which one's buying.
Not even sure which one's broke.
Could you imagine a Xenomorph aboard the USS Enterprise?
I won't have to soon.
Oh, we're gonna talk about the IP implications, but somebody hop in here and set the story up. Clearly not me, since I can't keep the entity straight in my head.
I actually don't know a whole lot about it, other than that Paramount is obviously just coming out of a sale in its own right, so it's kind of not clear exactly where they're going to get the capital to buy Warner Brothers now.
Well, I can handle that part. Yes, okay, so I can try and stumble through this, but stick with me in case I make any mistakes here. So we should probably start with the fact that David Ellison is the son of...
so it is daddy just bailing him out.
Well, is the son of recently declared richest person on Earth, Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison was the co-founder of Oracle, among other things. On September 10th of 2025, the Financial Times named him the wealthiest person in the world. He has a net worth of $393 billion. He owns 98% of the 6th largest island in Hawaii, says Wikipedia. So that kind of gives you, he has a ton of money. So anyway, so Larry Ellison has...
I own 0% of the largest island in Hawaii.
Well,
look at you.
So Larry Ellison has 2 children, David Ellison, his son, and his daughter, Megan Ellison. Megan Ellison founded Annapurna, a film studio that was spun up, spent a lot of money on some movies that got some awards attention, started making video games, and sort of burned out. David Ellison spun up his own production company called Skydance, and made movies like Top Gun Maverick, and Mission Impossible Fallout and Annihilation. But largely,
True
um,
Grit.
yeah, True Grit, Jack Reacher, Star Trek. Yeah, he did the Star Trek movies, but largely movies with Tom Cruise in them that made a shit ton of money. And through having
That's a good genre to be in.
through financing Tom Cruise movies that make a shit ton of money with inherited wealth from the richest person on earth, David Ellison secured himself enough money to be able to buy Paramount Pictures and form Paramount Skydance. So that, with some scuttlebutt from the Stephen Colbert and the South Park guys and 60 Minutes,
And then he said, wasn't enough.
all recently went through. And yes, now it looks as if he is turning towards Warner Brothers and honing his sights on them. Because as we heard recently, Warner Discovery doesn't want to be Warner Discovery anymore. I mean, I'll just hang a lantern on it. The Ellisons and Trump are very friendly, so it doesn't seem like the pretty politically motivated Federal Trade Commission would be at all moved to like say that this was not allowed because of monopoly law or anything like that.
Right.
In some ways, it is worth mentioning that like not that long ago, people were worried that some corporation, like some faceless entity, was going to buy up Paramount and like close the lot and tear down the arch and stuff, right? Like that's sort of how the Ellisons entered this conversation, was they were like the white knights who were going to save Paramount. So like there's not a lot of grace to give them, so I will give them that. It does seem like a problem. It does seem worrying to me that David Ellison would own 3/4 of the movie making capacity in this country and the remainder would be owned by Disney. Does seem like not a great place to be in. I don't know what you guys think. That's the setup. Now we can kind of just talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely insane. We make this joke all the time, but it does feel like we're running out of mergers to do. It is worth noting, I guess, that this is no paperwork's been filed, no offer has actually been made.
Right. Yep.
But should it happen, I do think from the nerdy perspective, one of the more interesting things is how do the characters move.
Yeah. So I will just say also on the sort of like IP slop of it all, a lot of the Skydance proper stuff from the last several years has been like kind of streaming trash, like the kind of stuff that we've really like kind of glazed over at. Your Ghosteds, your Airs. Well, actually, Air was pretty good. But your Ghosteds, your Spy Kids Armageddons, your The Family Plans, your The Gorges, Fountain of Youth on Apple. I know Fountain of Youth was Deepak's favorite movie on Apple TV Plus, but you didn't catch Fountain of Youth, the Krasinski National Treasure.
I started it and passed out and never went back.
Man, so
just show how that movie is.
Forgot that movie existed.
That's what Skydance has been bringing to the table lately. But yes, you're right, Jack. Would this allow our good friends from Fast and Furious to team up? Well, I mean, the obvious one is Batman and Ninja Turtles, right? That's the one. If you want to know what's the IP mashup that you get out of this that you might have been waiting for, it's Batman could meet the Ninja Turtles if this actually went through. But yeah,
is that worth it?
What are you waiting for, Jack? Maybe. Would you like to see, the Fast and Furious?
Well, yeah, for me personally, I do think I do think all of the DC heroes being at Warner Brothers is worth noting. I know less about Paramount, although I've come to know more of them as I've had to use their streaming service.
Transformers versus Monsterverse.
Yeah, so Paramount
now we're getting somewhere.
Paramount gives you access to the Transformers. It gives you access to the Fast and Furious. It gives you access to the Star Trek crew. I mean, Jack, all the guys that are up on the mountain.
Yeah, of course.
The South Park kids could go to Hogwarts. Park. Actually, they wouldn't have to make fun of it.
They'd be all irreverent there.
Yeah, they could actually go and they'd be in the new show.
That's the one of the shows where it doesn't matter the least who actually owns.
You can just imagine him in a boardroom like, we could send Cartman to Hogwarts. We can do that right now. Do you want Cartman to go to Hogwarts? We did that like 8 times. Yeah, I don't know if there are any IP collisions that I'm so excited about. Although I will say, in the new Ellis and Skydance reign over Paramount, they have said that Star Trek is top priority now. Deepak, I don't know if that makes you more excited or less excited about the future of Star Trek, but
What is the top priority? Is it a continuation? Is it a
right,
reboot? What
yes,
era?
It sounds
What
like so.
medium? Yeah.
Strange New Worlds, which is like basically covering the Christopher Pike era before Captain Kirk took over as
So
captain, is
his origin story, more or less.
hmm
yeah, is it's getting ready to wrap up season 5 in the next 2 or 3 years, I believe, and then
Mm.
the immediate plan after that is to start a new version of the original series with a Captain Kirk.
Now that was the plan before the Skydance acquisition,
Mm,
is the thing I would say.
awesome.
But like, yes, that would I think that
Yeah,
would be cool. I think Strange New Worlds is the strongest bow in the Star Trek quiver, or strongest arrow in the Star Trek quiver right now.
absolutely.
Like,
What's the bow doing in
why
here?
is the
The
bow in the
the
quiver?
act, the actor they have for playing Kirk, which at the moment is mostly like just a recurring actor before like they actually get that show going.
Yeah,
It's so weird that he generally looks like a child of William Shatner and Chris Pine, if you look him up.
Mm.
he does.
I
And
mean, that's probably what they were looking for.
it is incredibly exciting that Strange New Worlds is going to get to finish its 5-year mission, regardless of what else happens. I think I have always liked Star Trek having its home on television. I like TV Trek. And I would love a Trek that could get back to kind of the spirit that Strange New Worlds is embodying right now, that is like, hey, you know what we're going to do is fly a spaceship around and encounter weird places and sort of like investigate what's going on this week. And then next
Mhm.
week we'll be on a different planet bopping around doing that. Like, that's what I like about Star Trek. And I feel like it's been absent from Star Trek forever. I think going back to the Ellison of it all, we're much more likely to get a high octane film or a continuation of the Pineverse or whatever, just
Right.
in terms of what they have been successful with in the past. Like, Skydance produced those Pine movies. So I think saying Skydance is taking over when they say Star Trek is top priority, I think what they mean is those Pine movies are top priority. Like, that's what I hear.
We're not too far gone from those.
They have never
Well,
dropped the rumors that they want to do a fourth one. Like, I mean, I'm with you, but
But there was that Tarantino thing, and now that's
there
not
was that
happening.
Tarantino thing. It's
Noah
not happening.
Hawley was going to do,
Yep.
I think, the movie or
Right.
TV. I can't remember.
I'm with you, but look at the original. Like, if we want to go back to what's the IP that you're aping, right? Like, what is the original story, right? If you want to go back to original series Star Trek, you had those 3 seasons that were really successful, that were bang, 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 right? Went off the
Then you've
air.
already remade that as an animated
Right.
series. Then you've already done Kelvin Timeline. Now you're going to
No, no,
reboot
no,
that
no, 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 no.
again?
No, but I'm saying then it was, so they did those 3 seasons, then Batman ran them off the air. Then that crew was like out of the public eye for 10 to 15 years and then came back in as an older version of themselves for the movies. I think that
Oh, so same
if you
thing here for
yeah,
Kelvin.
yeah, if you had, here's kind of the young crew, like, there is
Right.
contextual history reason to have kind of middle-aged Star Trek, right? Like, that's fine. We don't need them running around and climbing trees and stuff, right? Like, they're standing on the bridge going rah 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 rah. They can do that in their 40s. It's fine. If it's easier to get that going than to cast a new movie, I'm here for it. I don't know if anybody has an idea of what to do with this series beyond remake Kirk and Spock. Like, it seems like we keep doing remake Kirk and Spock, and I love Kirk and Spock, but how many different versions of Kirk and Spock are we going to see before we
I
just
mean,
get
it's the same
another?
thing. The same thing with X-Men. How many times did we
Yeah,
hear over the course of 20 years that,
yeah.
like, why is there such an emphasis on Wolverine when it should be Cyclops who's the leader of the team, and Wolverine is actually
Right.
more of a side character? But when it comes to doing the movies, these are the obvious two that it's easy to latch onto, plus Uhura, kind of that love triangle weird dynamic that they have always tried to make happen, but doesn't really. And then everyone else is just window dressing.
And it's because of all the stuff we talk about, right? It's because they get really bought into, we've invested all this money and all this time and all this interest in like a particular set of stories, and now those are the stories we have to tell. If anybody has sat through this kind of Star Trek tangent and is interested in more, I just did want to plug Adam Kotsko came on the show a little while ago, brought his book Late Star Trek on, a really, really fascinating deep dive into like sort of the late era of Star Trek. He calls it the final frontier in the franchise era, but sort of looking at Star Trek as the first franchise. And so his thesis is it's the first franchise that starts having all these problems of like franchise rot that we see in all these
Right.
things now. And so he starts with kind of Star Trek Enterprise and goes from, and he kind of points to 9/11 as this thing that breaks Star Trek brain of like, it's supposed to be scientists on a peacekeeping mission, and then 9/11 happens, and now it's like it's just an IP about terrorism, and sort of it just continues to be an IP about terrorism ad infinitum. And he's like, we just can't ever get our brain back around Star Trek. And it's just a really interesting kind of charting of all the way up through Into Darkness and Discovery and all that stuff. All right, quick dessert. Let's talk Doom. We got a glance.
Wait, last thing.
Oh, yeah.
The moral of the story, I think, behind the merger.
Yes.
David Zaslav is always right.
That's a great point. Suddenly it's come all the way back around, and David Zaslav is going to end up being
been the long con. He's been right all along.
He is now the hero of the story. We now do want him to keep his movie studio and not get subsumed by Ellison, right? Like, we're now cheering for Zaslav. All right. Well, we got to look at what we think is probably the early design for Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday. At this Disney Shanghai Celebration Expo thing.
What a crazy thing.
We got two different looks at basically the same design, which maybe Bruno superimposing it here or something. In some way, I'm sure we're giving you a look at it on social media, probably at Nerd It Here First, wherever you do that dirty business. But yeah, what did we all think of the Doctor Doom stuff? I thought this looked kind of standard issue Doom. I'll be honest. I wasn't like super overwhelmed one way or the other.
Yeah.
I mean, I just dig about the comic accuracy of it all. I like what they were going for with his like chest plates, and there definitely seems to be like some sort of like symbolism there that like we're gonna have to dig into when the movie officially comes out and we get a closer look. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like what I see.
Yeah, there's also important to keep in mind that it's not necessarily the one costume he's going to have for the entire movie.
Right.
We don't know if he starts off this way and then he kind of, the way that Thanos throughout Infinity War, as he gained a stone, he sheds pieces of his armor because he doesn't need them anymore. He's stronger and stronger with one more stone. Mm-hmm. So does this Doom do something similar where, my one complaint, for example, is that I wish he had more green because that's the color we associate with Dr. Doom.
Right.
Maybe at some point that does happen. He acquires something. It becomes some significance, like it's his version of Strange's cloak or something like that. So who knows? We don't know what will happen.
Begin comics-based speculation now.
Mm-hmm.
If this is your exit point, this is why we saved the story till the end. Two things. One, based on the costume. The rings on the arms do look an awful lot like they could maybe be Shang-Chi rings. That Kang script that either leaked or wasn't really true at all had something about Kang wanting Shang-Chi's rings and Kamala Khan's bracers to like be able to manipulate worlds or whatever. I sort of saw a place in this design for all of that. But more importantly, at this same expo, we also got fireworks that looked like Dr. Doom ripping Thanos' spine out. Bruno, do you think we get that in the movies? This is, of course, a famous moment from the comics in which Thanos tries to fight Dr. Doom and he just punches him and pulls his spinal cord out.
You said it yourself, like over the Discord earlier this week, that it is one of those things that whoever thought it up about it in comics thought it up to specifically put it in a movie one day.
It is designed to go in a movie, yes.
I think they're going to be doing that. I'm not too sure if they're going to be doing it with Thanos, although I think that would be the prime choice to specifically raise the stakes and show how powerful Doom is. But I do also think that there could be the chance that they do it with like a Kang that doesn't necessarily look like Jonathan Majors. Maybe it's like the alien version of Kang that we saw briefly at the end of Quantumania or something like
The
that.
notion that they do it to Kang is just such a funny South Park level trolling that I would kind of love it. But I do think that the idea of having Brolin record 5 seconds of dialogue in a VO booth, or even a Brolin voice match, right, the way they did with Red Skull, all the rest of that you can easily do in a computer, and it doesn't even
Right.
have to look that great because the effect of the kill would just elevate Doom to such high
Yeah.
heights, and could even be one of the reasons why you want him to be the RDJ face here, because of course we saw Robert Downey Jr. fighting Thanos the last time we saw those two characters.
I definitely prefer they kept it original and like have it be Thanos.
All right. This has been Nerd Here Weekly. Thank you so much for listening. We want to remind you that if you're not watching the show, you can do that over on youtube.com/nerdherefirst or without ads on our website at nahf.com. You should also head to our website, nahf.com, to subscribe to get all the other great stuff we're doing beyond just this show. We do stuff all the time. We have episodes coming up about a bad movie that we all watched. Well, 4 different bad movies, one that we each watched. We have an episode coming up about Jaws. We have an episode coming up about Zelda the Wind Waker. We have an episode coming up about Point Break. All water things, because it's Beach Timber, baby. September Beach 2025, a month-long celebration of fun in the sun. It's happening. I should have plugged it sooner. It's going at the beginning of the episode next week. Make sure you subscribe at nihf.com so you don't miss any of that celebration or those great plugs. Head over to our social media at Nerd It Here First on all those platforms so that you get us doing even more silly business. Jackson reviewing the scary movie you saw tonight on Letterboxd. We'll put that on our Instagram. Thank you to Bruno Meneses for producing the show. Thank you to Wiki Rascals for our logo and artwork. Thank you to Purple Planet for our theme music. Don't forget to tune in next week to hear